Hello, for gaming community and Beyblade community as a whole. We're back for a podcast episode. This is a pretty heavy one. I did this on the fly. Mike is here also. Thank you, Mike, for joining me today. Um, just wanted to clear the air because some heavy stuff has happened with our store. I typically don't talk too much about our store up here, but it is a thing, and I know a lot of the members listen to this, and this is the best way and best platform that I can get everything out into the open clearly, because I have been sending out some emails, um, but I want to fully clear the air as the situation is pretty much resolved now. Not how I wanted it to be, but how it is. But first and foremost, I want to shout out to Armor from New Jersey. He won Dark Horseman at Beyblade World Cup, as well as making top cut for King of the Hill. I apologize to you, Mike. You don't know this as well. We did an interview with him not too long ago, and I have a time period to where I can download the interview. That was a heavy week for me. I'm not going to speak on those events because it's way beyond Beyblade. It goes more with my job, but with the Coast Guard. We had some pretty tragic things happen on some cases we had to work on, and that took a great deal of my time. And then shortly after that, everything with Beyblade X happened. So that recording, I apologize to you, Armor. It was lost. It's been a bundle of chaos for me with these last couple of weeks. But I did want to shout you out. He is a great blader from New Jersey. He said he wanted his name to be known. You know, he's one that was not known as much, and he came and did some great things at Beyblade World Cup. If you see him at another tournament, definitely look out for him because he's an amazing blader. He battled against Crisis Crusher and had a great time. And I do apologize. If you're able or willing, we can have you on the show again in the near future. So what
I'll reach out to him.
Oh, thanks, brother. Thank you. What I'm gonna hit on, and I think Mike knows some of this, but I'm kind of gonna go on a spill. So we had our shipment for Beyblade X. Was real hype about it. If you listen to the episodes, previous ones have been hype about X. It was seized by customs or detained by customs. Initially, I was checking to see what was going on with the package because no one reached out to me. I just do the tracking. I even had the story up like, hey, it's shipped and this and that. And I reached out initially. They said that they just needed the master invoice. So it's like, okay. I was like, that's with the packaging, but okay. So I got it from our distributor, sent it in to them, and they're like, all right, we're going to route it up, this and that. A couple of days after that, I got contacted by a customs agent telling me that it wasn't the shipping invoice they needed, but it was like a history of the product. It's a lot of details I'm gonna cover, but it's more legal stuff that I don't want to bore you all with. But pretty much it's the Beyblades need to be tested in a lab for the things that we all know about, like lead and some other chemicals that I can't really pronounce. The reason why we don't buy fakes, they don't know what Beyblades are. They don't know or care the difference between Takara Tomy, Hasbro, mid fakes, fakes, or anything like that. They just see a shipment of these metal Beyblades coming in, and that was a big thing because they are just a full metal. They were worried and concerned about, which they should be. I spoke with them. I got the documentation that I was able to get. I even told them about we need a batch number code, and that's some education for you all. You can look at the date and the time that the Beyblades was made. It's right on the box. I can't remember the codes specifically for the Metal Fight Beyblades that people consider mid fakes. They're not mid fakes. They're legit. They're just remakes. It's like A0115. The A will represent the month of the year that they're made. So A is January, and then 01 is January 1st of 2015, or I think it's 2014. And you can see all that on the back of the box. And that's the information he needed. And even though it was on the box, they wanted me to have documentation for that. And I also had to fill out some other paperwork, was a child product certificate, which I do myself, but that's from the lab testing. So it's just a whole bunch of a whole lot of a whole lot of documentation. And it's not like I can just do it with one Beyblade. It has to be every specific Beyblade. So even if they had some recolors in, they might like they had which one was the recolor from these?
The two boosters are both recolors, and the triple set are also recolors of the original four.
Okay. So each Beyblade, so like the triple booster is, I would have to have testing done for each of those triple boosters, even if they are recolors and remakes, because as they explained to me, just a different color, I need to get the testing done. So each Beyblade that I get tested, anywhere from $350 to $400, and that's each Beyblade. And then you have to have 6 copies of each when you send it to the lab, because the lab needs that. It has to be approved by I can't remember the name of the organization that deals with the importing. But I was working on that, getting it all done, talk with the distributor. And then I got another notification, because when I finally got in contact with the agent, he was like, you have 24 hours to respond. And I was like, oh my God, it took a few days, and no one reached out to me. Like I said, it was me continuously reaching out to be like, what's going on? And he finally hit me back, was like, you got 24 hours to respond. I was like, Roger that, nice, respectable. As much as I can, I didn't want to piss these people off, and they just be like, screw you, buddy, we're not helping you in any way. I let him know I'm getting the documentation as I can. He was like, okay. After 24 hours was up, it went to someone else, and they were like, you have 5 business days. So I was like, all right, solid. I'm going to grind, do what I can. And I had already reached out to like 15 labs, trying to get work done, reach out to our distributors so they can ship them to him, because I don't have the Beyblades myself to send it to a lab. That was in the process of working. And the closest amount of time that I could have gotten for it to get done, they said 5 days for lead testing. And all the other ones were like 10 days and this and that. So I reached back out to be like, hey, can I have just a little bit more time and this and that? And it's a small world. It's weird. The initial agent I talked to, I let him know I was in the Coast Guard. I understand that there's random laws out there that many citizens don't know, and that's worldwide. Like, even in the Coast Guard, like, I'm a boarding officer, there's laws when we come up to people and we're like, hey, this is wrong or that is wrong, and they're like, I had no clue and I had no idea. And that's one of the parts of my job, is educating the public. Some of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff I don't write the laws, I just enforce them. And that's what he was in. And he was a prior coastie, and he pretty much broke it down to me about everything that was going on. He was like, dude, I'll let you know right now from that. He was like, if you get this documentation or not, you can use it for the future shipments. But as far as this one goes, they're not giving it back. And I was like, all right, well, that sucks. And that was a heavy hit in the gut, because as I reached out, I mean, if you know me, I'm not gonna preach on it, whether you believe it or don't, like, whatever. I was doing the best that I could, and this really sucked, because it wasn't like, oh my God, the store is losing all this money. It was more of, oh my God, I have a lot of friends in the community, or everyone that entrusted their money to me or was looking forward to this new release. I'm not able to deliver on that. I disappointed a lot of people, and I sincerely want to apologize about that. There's YouTube streamers. There's my a lot of close friends and acquaintances I've made through this, collectors, hobbyists, competitors, and I felt really bad for that. I had some initial plans. I was going to just try to fulfill all my pre-orders through Bays and Bricks and the other stores, but that didn't work out either. I did reach out to Beyblade Premiere and Bays and Bricks to see if they had any help or this and that, and they did reach back out to me, and they were able to help. But within within the store like world, like sometimes some things go on that aren't as transparent. I try to be as transparent as I could. But I think everyone was struggling, not in the same way of getting seized by customs, but struggling as far as like fulfilling the orders and getting all the product in at once because of the loopholes. And if you were with our store, part of the Beyblade community for a while, you may have seen a little bit of this when Dynamite Battle Set came out, because the initial release of those, when it was so many, um, every store was delayed. But that is that. And I have yeah, it was just heavy. I kind of lost my train of thought, but I did want to sincerely apologize about that. I got the refund, or everyone is issued a refund. It's going to take time for processing, um, and please be patient with that. I also had to transfer a lot of funds around. I did not get a full refund from our distributor, which is completely understandable. Everything that was seized was pretty much a total loss. So, um, I'll throw the number out there. I will. It was about $8,000. That's just like gone now. And I got a little bit of that, a little bit back from the distributor, our distributor. I thank God for that, because he was understanding, and it also hurt him. So I'm gonna have to pay them back as well. But he looked out, and I'll do that in the future. So it did take a heavy hit on the store. And I'm dealing with that as best as I can. But that's pretty much what's going on, because we get the pre-orders, they come in, the money from the pre-orders. We don't really profit too much from that, or sometimes like not even at all. It's more just like get it, and to get it to the community so we can compete and we can all play and have them here is easier access. So the money that was sent for pre-ordering, all that majority of that money was sent to um, for the pre-orders, and that's majority of that was sent to customs. And then some things that, because once the first shipment got seized and there were some others coming over, I was like, stop, don't send anything else. Can I get a refund for what you haven't sent? And they were able to do that. And I'm using that money, as well as even I say some of my personal money to try to pay back, because this is it's not any of y'all's fault. I do want to say thank you, and I'm appreciative to everyone that did reach out, showing support, and saying if I needed anything. And if I haven't responded to you immediately, it's just because I have a lot going on, a lot of people that I'm responding to. But I do want to say thank you to you all, because it does mean a lot for the support, and I'm very appreciative. Um, I want to shout out Michael Nightwing, because he wanted to do a video for a promotion for donations, but I don't want to do that because I'm not really. This is my burden to bear. I don't want anyone else to have that on them. But much love to you, brother. I appreciate that, and there's a lot of other members. I want to shout out Arca Paul. You know what you did. Much love to you as well, and I got to shout out. I want to shout out somebody else, but I don't want to say your name. That I don't want you to become like targeted or whatever. But I know some um, individuals, they were talking. I think people that didn't know me, and were saying like, "Oh, is this a shady situation? This and that." And you had my back on that. Appreciate it. Much love to you too. But that's what's going on. We're in the process of just getting all these refunds taken care of, shipped back out. I do have some good news. So within the midst of the shipments, some shipments did go through, but it's no Beyblades. So it's just the stadiums, not the stadium sets, and some launcher grips, and like the 3G boxes or B4 boxes. Um, those are coming. I saw today. I thought those were going to get seized too, but I guess because it's no metal, no Beyblades in it, it's not going to get seized. But they're all coming through the same port. So right now I'm scared and terrified to order Beyblades until I have full documentation. Um, Another thing I plan on doing, because right now I don't know what's going to happen with the store. I don't want anything like this to happen again. So the site is closed indefinitely. Um, we're still going to have our tournament tomorrow on Saturday. Um, I plan on taking a break in August regardless because it's the last month before my babies go back to school. So I want to spend some time with them on the 2 weekends I have off. Um, but I don't really know what's going to go on right now. I'm taking everything one step, one day at a time to get everything situated. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, man. Yeah, that's heavy. I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, the best way to reach me right now is email. Um, Everything else is blowing up so much. The best way to reach me is email. It may not be immediate, but Discord, God knows when I'm gonna be on Discord. I don't have my notifications on Discord. Instagram is kind of a good way to reach me as well, but email is the best way if you have any further questions or concerns. But appreciating the support and love throughout these years to you all and everyone's patience and understanding through this time. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had on that. And I know that's deep and heavy. I don't know. Other things we were going to hit on was just Beyblade X, but I don't think Mike, he told me you don't have anything yet either, right?
No, I don't have anything yet, but I mean, I've been keeping up in the Discord with what people say about it, so.
Yeah. What's the community talking about as far as X?
For the most part, the community is saying Dransword is like tier 0, like it's just the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've also talked to Fried Pasta. Shout out to him. He actually owns the stuff. He's going to be bringing it to our GT tournament this Sunday, so I'll actually be able to hands-on mess with the stuff a little bit and get a real feeling for it.
Mm-hmm.
From what from my conversation with him though, he was saying that the direction he sees X moving in is the direction of literally the blader skill of where to launch, how to launch, angle, how hard they launch, all of that is going to be more of the deciding factor than the Beyblades themselves.
Mm.
So that gives me a little bit of interesting hope
Yeah,
on
yeah,
X, because
yeah.
if
Seems
it
competitive in that aspect, though.
right, if it turns out it's, more than 50% based on the blader's skill, and then the rest is like mixed in with a little bit of luck and depending on the parts you use, I mean that'll probably make for a really good competitive scene as time goes on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think Dransword right now is probably feeling very overpowered because people haven't learned where to put their launches or how to launch exactly against it. I mean, people barely anybody has the stuff over here, so we got to try to figure it out.
yeah. It's gonna take some time. It's definitely gonna.
Don't expect to see me high up on the X rankings right at the start. That ain't happening.
Did they do X? Do they have? Did it has? I haven't on
They
WBO in a minute.
no WBO. The entire ranking system currently is still busted, and they probably aren't going to have any X rankings right out of the gate, just because. I mean, I don't know if what's wrong with the ranking system is broken through the entire ranking system, or if it's just burst, or if they add in a new ranking for X, if that'll just make things worse. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it's reasons like that why I'm still a little more on the side of we need to just get rid of rank and just have big regional and national type tournaments.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's either that or like someone's got to pony up some cash and just like pay and get a whole new website done.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just kind of where we're at. I mean, I know Beyblade itself, like, I know the website currently has no way of making actual income, but
Yeah,
like the directors, the two that own the website, maybe they need to start thinking either a way of having the site make money or have like figuring out a way where they personally pay for it because they are the owners.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk in that aspect, but I mean, from what I've heard, there's been people that do have money that have offered to help and they've turned it down. So,
I mean, when the store was doing decent, I have witnessed that because I wanted to help. Um, I mean, I can't right now. I can't help anyone. I'm trying to.
right. Right.
I'm trying I'm fighting for my life over here, but it's like it's but anyways, it's at that point in time. But I think that was a little bit of um understandable. Like it's sometimes people do favors and they want something in return that you don't want to give or you can't give. So I
Right.
could yeah, I think that was what was up with the directors. They didn't want to necessarily take favors, which I get, you know. Like if I was coming in there as a store, it's like, yeah, here, I'll front you all this money, but I also want you to do this, this, and this for me to help me grow my business or whatever. And they might not have been wanting or willing to do that. They're like, hey, Sven ran, like if you want to show love, like you could, but it's hard to see. It's like a wolf in a sheep's clothing. So they may have been
Right.
skeptical. I know I wanted to do that, but they do have sponsors like now. There is some way, but I don't know the deals that they have. Because I know Mala Toys before and now Beyblade Premiere. I don't know how that's structured as far as the sponsorship and the financial
And
staff everything, but
I mean, there's been many conversations within like the organizers circle in the Discord. So I mean, it's public knowledge on what people have talked about. You know,
yeah.
different ways for the website to make money. There's talk about like, should they bring merchandise back and people can buy it? Should we have a donation button? Because even though it's a nonprofit, donations are allowed.
Hmm.
Um, should there be like a subscription fee or something? Should we bring back the what is it called? The oh my god, I can't think of what it's called.
Blader Pass. Oh,
Is that what it was
what
called? The
what
Blader
are you
Pass
talking about for the go
for
to the
tournaments.
tournament?
For tournaments, yeah,
Yeah, I think it was the Blader. I can't remember. I can't
yeah.
remember, but I know
It's
what you're talking
something.
about. Yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, I never had to pay for one because of when I started playing, so I don't
yeah.
always remember what it's called. But like there's talks about that kind of stuff there. My suggestion is maybe just an annual fee of like $15 or something. You just pay it once a year. I
Hmm.
mean, I think like that would just work out best. As long as you have paid that fee, you're good for the next year to hit any join tournament button. I mean it's only $15. Even most parents like if it costs them $15 for their kid to go to one tournament, for the first time ever because they really want to go, they'll probably just pay it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then they're good for a year in case the kid wants to keep going, and if not, they just they're no longer they just cancel the subscription and they don't have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think I'm not sure in totality, but it may be I don't know if that's something that Takara Tomy would look at them for try to say that they're profiting, but it's a not for profit organization. I don't know the legal aspect in that.
I think all that matters is that whatever like money they get is going back into the website. No one's pocketing it. So
Yeah,
that would be the key. Like everything they get has to go into the website. Whether it's like I mean, and I think that even includes like paying a staff if needed. Like I think you are allowed to pay a staff if you're like hiring. Like if you're hiring a programmer, you have to pay the programmer.
yeah, for their
You know what
time.
I mean? Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. That
um,
makes yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do agree as far as the rank goes. Like that could be something done away with because that'll free up a lot of the staff's time. Because I know the well, I won't say I know because I'm not part of staff, but I know the well, I feel like the biggest burden is placed on the play team, organized play team, as far as ranking, making sure the ranked tournaments are processed properly, making sure that everyone is inputting their proposals properly and things like that. Although I do know that I think they also deal with inputting the rules and everything too, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Not
pretty that's
not
pretty
not to mention the staff. Like one of the whole reasons why the entire ranking system right now is really messed up is because there have been people that host ranked tournaments and
hmm.
then we're having rules that are not part of ranked play. So then
Yeah.
those tournaments have had to be unprocessed, and going back and unprocessing them has broken the ranking.
Yeah.
So well, okay, it's broken it more than it was.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Yeah.
say broke strictly because of that. It was already broken. But
Hmm.
that's a whole issue too. Like, I mean, and if you get rid of rankings, then people can just play what they want. Like,
Hmm.
the WBO can just play what they want. You know, it's like having a local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. If you wanted to, you don't have to play the standard format. You could play Goat format. You can play, Edison format. For any of you that play Yu-Gi-Oh competitively out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can go to your local tournament and play any one of those formats. But if WBO then is like, okay, we're going to host a WBO regional qualifier, then we play this strict rule set because everyone is going to play this rule set.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that is how you determine who are better bladers. So if you have a bunch of ranking, if every other month you had a ranking in an area, or a regional in an area for people to try to gain their invites for a national or something, or even you don't even have to have an invite. You can just have regionals. They're just
Hmm.
regional. They're just regionals. They don't have to be regional qualifiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just tournaments that matter where people are coming to try their hardest and try to win. They're not coming to just play. These are the tournaments. If you're trying to win, you come here to try and win.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not coming to test your wacky and fun combo. You're coming here with the meta combo and your A game to try to win, like
Yeah.
BWC.
Yeah. 100%. And it's like, yeah, and you get that self respect and also that recognition when it
Right.
from that, like, hey, this is the regional winner. Yeah, the points aren't up there, but this is the regional winner for whatever region, and they're coming
Right.
here, so you know that there's something because you get your name heard. I mean, that's was
That's how
um
Yu-Gi-Oh is.
yeah, that's what happened with Armor. I mean, Armor, he like not too many people knew about him. He won in Jersey, and he went down and was winning some things in BWC, and that's what really matters. It's like um
Right.
when it cuts it down, and it makes it fun also.
Yeah, and then not to mention, like, you learn who are actual good players not by a ranking just because they can flood their points with an area they're in, but you learn that they're good because they're consistently topping the event.
Mhm.
That's one of the things. Like, I have a high ranking on the current rankings, but the good thing is for me, if you go to my page and you look down at the tournaments, you'll see a lot of ones that I have won, got second, or
Yeah,
got third in. Like,
yeah,
you see the jump where I finally started to really, like, hone in my skills, I guess you would say. And you see that. You see where it's okay, he's actually doing good. Like, I don't think I think one tournament recently I have gotten less than third place. Everything else I've third place or more.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
BWC I scrubbed out. Oh man, I'm so bad.
It's all good, man. At least you got down there. You had some tough competition too.
I
Um,
did. Shout out to Henwuja. He's scary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I did. Oh, when you brought it up, I want to touch back because I was getting some messages. Not to bring the conversation back down again.
Yeah.
But people were asking about other stores. So other stores. I'm in North Carolina. The port that my shipments come through, and depending on the courier, if I use FedEx, it's going to come through Tennessee, or it has been lately. If I use USPS, it's going to come through New York. If I use DHL, it stops in Europe, and then it just comes straight to me. A local distributor or a local shipping courier in North Carolina. Um, UPS, haven't imported through UPS in quite some time, so it's different. But depending on the different port that you go through or the different distribution center, and depending who is working there, and just whatever they deem, they'll let through or won't let through. All the other stores, no other stores in North Carolina. Florida has its own port. Cali has its own port. New York, as I mentioned before, they have their own port. Because it was mentioned, it's like, hey, other people have the product, or other people are shipping it out. They did not go through my situation, and I can't speak 100% for them on what is or what isn't going on. Shout out to Mala Bays, as well. That's in Canada. They have completely different rules on their importing than the United States does, and these I'm not fully sure. It was just it's just the way things happen, you know. Um, and not to get more deeper, but I am religious, and that's one of the things. It's just it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason, and believe in God, and it's gonna work out in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I did want to say that one because when you're talking about the I can't remember why that went to my head, but yeah, when you were talking about it, and I do have some other interesting news. And Mike, I don't know if you know this. Um, I'm not gonna shout out too much about it because I don't know if it's like a big secret, but I do know about it, so I'm gonna say something. There has been a Takara Tomy brand of Beyblades seen in local stores in the United States. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't.
Yep. Yep.
Where was of X or
No, just it was a triple booster set of I want to say it was Dynamite and it was Takara Tomy brand.
hmm.
Yep. Yep. That was a thing. We're trying to it could have been a mistake. I don't think so, and it wasn't something that somebody just took a picture of like some Takara Tomy Beyblades that they purchased themselves and took it inside of a store. No, this was a legit Pro Series Takara Tomy logo um, branded box.
do you have the picture?
Yeah, I
Oh,
could.
yeah.
Yeah,
When you get a chance, send it to me.
yeah. I and,
Curious.
um, but with that that and I don't have it. It is something. It's really far from me where it was seen at. But if I have been checking my local stores, if I ever do see it, um, I definitely like put it on our Instagram or share that type of information. But all that really meant, if it is a thing, and I don't think it was just like a mistake, because it was in Pro Series and the logo, unless somebody just completely messed up in Vietnam where it happened, which I highly doubt. Uh, it may be a little indication that Takara Tomy will be sold in stores. Takara Tomy brand products will be sold in stores in the United States. It could have been a complete fluke. It could have been a complete accident. Maybe they put the wrong brand on the wrong box. I don't know, but I have seen that.
Hmm.
So
Unless somebody photoshopped their own custom box thing and made a box and took it into the store.
yeah, let me. Hold on, I'm gonna look at it one more time. Mm, no, because it says it has Hasbro's logo on the bottom, but TT on the top.
Okay, so that's like the traditional Pro Series stuff they've been doing.
Yeah.
Because all the Pro Series have that too.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm just hyped for no reason.
I mean,
Uh,
but is it Dynamite Battle or?
yep. It's hold on, man. I'll just send it to you now. You got your phone with you?
Yeah, I got my phone. That's the yeah, that's the last triple booster set they were doing.
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's the last. That's like the last thing they were doing. It's sad. It's the
Uh,
it's the black Super Hyperion, the gold variant Lucifer, and the black what is that? First Uranus.
okay. So shoot, I thought I had big news in this. Oh no,
Yeah,
this is Sparking. This isn't Dynamite.
yeah, that's sparking.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So I thought I had big news. I don't. As everything is continuously sad. Yeah. So never mind then. Never mind then. But yeah, if I do come across it, I'll still post it up. But
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, I that's
Rest in peace, Hasbro. You tried.
Yeah, I tried. I tried. It's all.
Not
It's
you,
all.
Hasbro
Oh
tried.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's all good. Yeah. Well, hopefully, still. I mean, I didn't even think about this, but the Takara told me. I guess as I'm just looking and thinking about it now, like I don't know. I'm not gonna keep harping on my situation.
I mean,
Um.
Takara Tomy has already stated that they're gonna try to have their licensing agency and everything done in by January in New York.
Yeah.
So once because you can tell Takara Tomy is trying to make Beyblade a lot bigger than it was, and I'm pretty sure that the reason why they're doing this now is they probably feel that Hasbro really like messed up Burst.
Yeah.
Like Hasbro did. Hasbro really messed up Burst, and if they're trying to make Gear Sports a thing, like if you're trying to turn something into a sport, it's got to be done worldwide. Like trying to do it just locally just isn't gonna work out too well,
Hmm.
especially when you already sell the products worldwide. And if anyone like sees the Japan stuff, they're gonna be like, "Well, what's wrong with us? You racist? Is
Yeah.
that what it is? You know?"
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so
So.
I mean, I think um I think TT is going to handle it pretty well. I think it'll. I have faith in TT. Like, I just have faith that they're going to send people over here. They're going to get their stuff set up, and then I do fear that we're going to be 6 months behind. But I hope even if we're 6 months behind, I just hope that the Karatomi gets really involved and maybe they start hosting like regionals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because then if they do that and they say, hey, you can only use parts that are released within your region,
Hmm.
I mean, then there's no longer a reason to buy $20 Beyblades off of from overseas. You just
Yeah.
buy what you can in the store at that point.
Yeah. 100%. And I did want to. So something that enlightened me because every country has different laws, and I've seen this so heavily with all the information that I had to look into because in the event that I'm able to start selling Beyblades again and importing again, having the documentation, I will be a month behind. And that is a big thing because like I said, you have to have the documentation. I'm not the one getting the Beyblades manufactured. I
Right.
am um buying them wholesale and then reselling them. It's a retail store. I'm not manufacturing the Beyblades. So I have to wait for them to release, talk to my distributor to send them to the lab, wait a week or 2 weeks for the results to come back, then get the other documentation that I need to be able to fully import them. So it's probably about 3 weeks after the release that I can actually um, put in the order to get them. So I'll be a month behind when I am importing to do everything legally and the way it's supposed to be done because I don't want it. I do not want this to ever happen again. So that will be the only way to do it. But then that's heavy because people want their Beyblades and they want them now. And if I'm importing them a month after their release, it's kind of like what you said, like, oh, we're 6 months behind. And that may be a reason why some things in some countries like is because it's easier to distribute in their country because they initially have it versus shipping it to other countries that may have more strict laws than what they have, so they have to meet certain requirements because it's heavy. I'm not saying that is the reason, but it may be something like that. Because as I looked at it, I was like, I'm gonna be a month late for everything. At the earliest, a month late at the earliest, and
Yeah.
that's heavy. So it would be easier. Like I've said this before, though, it's easier if you can go into the store and this and that. There's no reason for gaming with the Beyblades. Go ahead and just get what you can from Target and Walmart. Go play and have fun. And that just may be what it is for the near future or distant future. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be sad to see for gaming like completely shut down, but I mean, unfortunately, this is the real world, and I hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah, these things happen. So
Yeah. But at least hopefully then like if that happens, it doesn't stop you from wanting to play Beyblade.
yeah, yeah, I'm still on this nerd life. Like I said, I'm taking a month off. And there's been some things I've been smiling about. Also, Challenger, I want to shout that out. Everything is taken day by day. I cannot speak on any big event or any big thing that I had planned before because the store is hurting right now. As well as like I'm big sad too. I am quite disappointed, and my focus right now is more just to continue on with my nerd life. I was looking forward to some things. Like I know when you're a store owner and or things that were your hobby and that you enjoyed, once it becomes like business or you're catering, it kind of takes away a little bit from your enjoyment. So even we'll say tournaments, like hosting the tournaments and trying to run a store and things like that, I couldn't have my freedom to just play. I get a little bit of that back in the sense of now because I'm not as focused on the other things. Playthrough gaming convention, when I first started going to that, I was enjoying the convention. I could walk around and things like that. And it wasn't a burden I was doing the store. I don't want it to sound like that. But now I am looking forward to this year to, just go and to just see things and to enjoy the nerd life again. And I felt a little bit of that playing One Piece. Because I started playing that, and when the stores that I go to, and Mike, I'm sure you know this, like, or if you
Oh
talk
yeah.
to a store, yeah, you talk to the store owner. The store owner isn't playing. The store owner they have to run the store or run the event and make sure things go smooth. Sometimes they may play and things like that, but they can't. That's like you can't buy your own lottery tickets at the store that you work at.
Right.
You have to. It's more of a giving than receiving type field, and that's how it was. And I will say I'm a big nerd. So in some ways, I look at this. It's like, well, thank God I get to play a little bit more and get to relax a little bit more. I'm sad that I can't help the community out in the way that I was. Um, but I am going to be able to enjoy it a little bit more for myself and just do what I can in that manner and way. So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you started the website because there were no other websites to really get stuff from legitimately that was really credible or anything. And
yeah,
now we've got so many.
yeah, I was thinking about that too, and I was like, maybe it is time for because the whole purpose is kind of put to bed. I mean, you got Mall of Toys, J&J Base Store, Mall of Bays, Beyblade Premiere, Bays and Bricks, which I found out later. Bays and Bricks was out first, but now they heavily focus on TT. Before it was just like any Beyblade in
Yeah.
existence, but now it's just heavily TT. So Bays and Bricks has been out for God knows how long. I don't know long,
I mean,
but
when I asked Jared about it, when I first got started, he had mentioned Bays and Bricks and Everwish, but he had said Everwish was expensive due to shipping,
uh
and Bays and Bricks, the issue was like they didn't always have stuff in stock back then.
yeah, yeah,
So, but it looks like things have changed. Distribution on this stuff has actually gotten a lot better for the most part.
hmm
X, I mean, to be fair, right now X is the brand new thing. I mean, there's probably a lot more people flooding to buy this stuff than there are people that were buying Burst.
yeah, yeah,
Dynamite Battle and BU. Because I mean, let's be real. When you think about it, there's a lot of people that were part of the Metal Fight community that were like, I don't even want to touch Burst anymore. Like, I tried it. I don't like it. I'm not going to even worry about buying any of the stuff as it comes out. I'm going to
hmm
focus and play Metal Fight. Now we have X, which has like qualities of Metal Fight built into it. So that's piquing their interest. It's got burst qualities into it. It's got a whole new gimmick to it. So everyone is has piqued interest in this.
yes,
Everyone is trying to buy it. So whereas, maybe you only needed to get 500 units for a pre-sale because of all the stores that were there, you
hmm
only needed to get 500 units of the latest BU Bay because that's all you were going to sell.
yeah,
Now you would need 1,500 units to sell.
yeah. This was the biggest pre-order we have had in the history of 4Gaming, and I mean it crap to bed, but it was the biggest. X was severely hyped. It is severely sought after. I know from just some other stores I talked to, they um um I think the quota is being met, but I think things are just coming in slowly, like waves and second waves. And I had said this before the release for everyone to be patient with their distributors or their stores because, like you said, or I think I've said this. I can't remember if I just said this to you, Mahan, but if me, you, and Jared put in our pre-orders and we each want to get 500 units, and that was typical, but we put the pre-order into our distributor and all they have is 1,000, so we'll only 1,000 off that initial release. We'll only get a percentage of
Right.
what we got, like maybe 40% of the whole 500 that each of us ordered, and then on the second release we'll get more, we'll get the rest of it. um but that second release might not come out to the next month because Car told me is going to look, see the demand, and then they'll go and make their decision on how much they're going to produce and then send that out later. And I think that may be going on now. So if you aren't getting your orders, just be a little bit more patient because it might have to be the second or even third wave before some things get completely kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
It'll it'll all work out. I mean, after probably after 6 months of this, not only will we have Takara Tomy possibly distributing things directly here, or they're all of that with their what is it, licensings and stuff here,
hmm
but by then too, the shipping stuff overseas will lighten up and be easier as well.
hopefully,
You
hopefully
know,
so. Well, I know from this, like I do have a lot more knowledge than I had before. Um, and Takara told me, like, if you go to their website, I might even put the link down here. They meet all the requirements for the US. I just don't have all those documents.
yeah,
He has those documents. And you'd be like, why don't you get them to Takara Tomy? I don't have a direct line with Takara Tomy. I have just I have Takara Tomy does not sell directly. They take the orders from distributors, and then those distributors get their orders fulfilled through the manufacturer. Um, Takara Tomy is not shipping these the Beyblades out. They just have the licensing and everything to be able to flash. Um, but that's what that is. But yeah, it will be a little bit easier access, and ultimately for the nerd life and for the geek life, that is better. For people not to have to worry. I mean, you might be standing out line outside or have to go to a few different Targets or Walmart to get what you're looking for, but at
right.
least you get it and you'll get it right there. Like it's like searching for, I don't know, a card pack.
It's instant reward.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
know, it
You
it feel it feels better to just go out and be able to buy it than it does to have to order it and sit there and wait for a week till it shows up.
yeah, looking at your tracking and being like, okay, did it come today? Harassing your mail lady or mailman and being like, hey, do you have this or don't you have it? Do you have it or don't you have it? And it's all that anxiety with it. So it's nice to go there. And plus, hobby shops. I think we talked about this. I think on with the interview with Armor, but that's not coming out. But the hobby shops being able to have it, so you can talk to people who really know about the products. So you're not just going into Walmart and or Target, and those people, they don't know anything about all them toys in there. They just stock them. But if you
Yeah,
go into hobby shop, you said this, didn't you, Mike?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We I talked about it. Yeah, it'll. I think hobby shops will be the way Takara Tomy goes. With trying to get like gear sports going over here in the States. It
yeah,
just it makes the most sense. I mean, that's what's going on with Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. I mean, even though Target and Walmart sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they're not hosting tournaments. The
uh-uh.
local hobby shop, the local brick and mortar shops are.
Yeah.
So I think Beyblade will do the same thing. I mean, I've already got a shop here that's willing to do it. So, and I think good news. Guess what, James?
What's up?
Our homie Bobby Lawler, Robert Lawler is playing again.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he saw X and he was like, I gotta play this.
You got to get into it. Yeah,
So Yeah, and he talked to his local hobby shop where he was sponsored for Pokemon about it, and
Hmm.
so they're gonna look into also like getting product in and having tournaments there. So
Yeah. I have a local hobby shop that I play One Piece at. I might when X comes out, I might just talk to them about
well,
doing.
that's really the key. Like when you show up to a hobby shop and no one at the hobby shop knows you, like
Hmm.
it's harder to try to convince them for something new. But when you're like a regular player for like one of their TCGs or something, you get to know them and
Yeah.
they get to know you. It becomes a lot easier to be like, hey, you should really, and you just tell them, hey, I'll be the organizer. You guys don't have to do anything. Just
Yeah.
collect money and give me the space to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that may be something that I definitely look into because I still want to keep, well, I'm gonna keep the nerd life going. I mean, that's just the part of me, whether or not for gaming continues on or not. Um, I'm gonna keep the uh sorry, I just got a message. I'm gonna keep the nerd life going. I mean,
Yeah.
that's anime. Any One Piece fans, Gear 5, I think it comes out this weekend. I know you don't watch One Piece, but still hype on that. And yeah, this life is still going to continue on. It's still beautiful, man. There's always something to smile about. So that's the beauty in it. It's the love of it.
And don't forget when just because something falls out, one door closes, another door opens. So
100%. Thanks, man. That's the positive feedback I need. And yeah, again, thank y'all so much for. I've gotten a lot of love. I was so scared to send that initial email. I was like, man, I'm about to get some hate mail back, this and that. No one was angry. No one was angry. Everyone was like they were understand. The most I probably got was like, well, if it doesn't work out, am I getting a refund? And I was like, yeah, of course. But
you should
everyone,
have told him no.
huh?
You should have just been like, no, just because
No,
you
this
asked that.
my money forever. Like, no. But yeah, yeah. It's
You asked a
but
stupid question, so you just don't deserve it, man.
well, I think like I think some people have dealt with that, and I've seen that with some stores. It's like you'll either get
Like a
uh
partial refund or something.
yeah, partial refund or a like a restocking fee that you have to get back or something like that. And it's like, which I have always given the full refunds. Like I said, it's gonna take some time for these to process because it was so many. And um but it's not anyone's fault, it's
Yeah.
like if anybody's fault, it's my fault for not having all the correct documentation, but shoot, I didn't know. But yeah, customs got it. So
All right,
uh
so everybody go raid customs agencies and get your Beyblade X.
I talked to Archipel. He was like, you did you need anything? I was like, we put a ski mask on and come out to me to Tennessee and do a quick snatch and grab job. And he was like, dude, I'm out of town right now, but I got you when I'm back. I was like, no, man, I'm playing. We can't do that. We thrown in jail forever. Like, what's the charge? I was trying to get customs for Beyblades. Customs ain't no joke, man. Like, I have a lot of leniency, or a lot of leadway to do a lot of things as a boarding officer in the Coast Guard. When it comes to customs, it's like, dude, it won't be like too bad, but violation of people's like constitutional rights is on a whole nother level. What
Oh
they're
yeah.
allowed, but it's it is what it is. Right? About to bash it. I worked with them before, not in this aspect, but just doing boardings and vessel safety as well as like contraband and things like that. But yeah, yeah, it's gonna work out, bro. We'll still be able to play. Still got TCGs going on. Still got anime to watch. Still got much love for everything going on. Are you going to Beyblade East?
I'm. I know I'm gonna go the Friday because they're doing X, so I'll be there for that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go for Metal Fight or anything because I'm not really like super big with Metal Fight or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. We do have some stuff still in the store. That's another announcement. I plan on for the items that we do have because I know the store is like the site is shut down right now. But anyone that has like gift cards that they saved up or points that they saved up in the event that the store does not reopen. I was going to give some time for people to just stock up on some things that they wanted or just to get some stuff off my hands. But I also have some pricing that I did plan to send up to East because I have some things that are for the store. And then um, if you want to know what we do, what our profit is for hosting the tournaments. So being able to get things for that as well as pricing. So I have some pricing.
Yeah.
And I did plan on sending a couple things up for East.
All right.
Yeah, so hopefully um, it'd be something decent. I spoke with TSO because I was planning on going, but with all of this, I gotta focus on taking care of everyone that bought and
Yeah.
up at
And it's
home.
a financial hit to you too.
100%. Yeah, I can't really afford to go anywhere but work right now.
Yeah. I
But
know that. I know that feeling, so it's okay.
yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but it it'll work out, man. It will
It
work
will.
out.
It
Yeah.
will.
Um, you have anything else? I know this was the shorter one. I can't remember if I was gonna say it in the beginning, but I'm not sure when we'll have our next podcast. I need to get through and over this. I know next month, well, August, pretty much next week. Like I said, I have 2 weekends off a month, and those will be spent with my kids. I have some daddy-daughter dates as well as taking the family out before they go back to school, spending some time with them. And um, after that's done, or maybe even next month, we have someone to interview because we'll do our best, keep the podcast going. Going to do my best to continue to have tournaments and live this life. But like I said, taking it day by day, one step at a time right now.
Yeah, we can. I mean, it'd probably be a smart idea too to give it a month so all of us can get our X stuff in and test it out.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a shipping confirmation on when you're getting your stuff?
no, we won't get all we got was a There's a thing on Beyblade Premiere as well as they had sent out an email just basically telling everyone, they expect all of the pre-order shipments to be done by this point in time, and anyone that won stuff at BWC, they will ship them out at this point in time, which is
Yeah.
supposed to be August 7th.
Yeah.
So I've got about a week to go, and then I'll get to see. I should get my confirmation of the stuff being shipped by then.
Okay.
I did decide to order the regular starters from Mall of Toys today. I mostly did that because I realized out of everything I was getting from BWC, I was only going to have one launcher,
Yeah.
and Mall of Toys had this deal where if you got all four of the starters, it was only $100 instead of being like 115. And I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get the four starters, and that way that I also have the original colors because I wasn't going to have the original colors for anything. So
Yeah.
and it gives
Yeah.
me more launchers. That way, then when my son wants to play with me, we don't only have one launcher.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I know they're gonna be solid. I did want to shout out because I think I out all the domestic stores. But Everwish, you already shouted them out. They're legit, as well as the Portal Zero. Um, the Portal Zero, when you look at it, you're like, man, it's expensive, but the shipping is free. It just takes quite some time for you to get your Beyblade. I mean, like a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Um, but if you're
Portal
import,
Zero is really nice for their like innovation stuff.
yeah, they have some
Like,
exclusive like recolors.
yeah, they've got stuff that like they paint themselves and like accessories and all kinds of cool stuff. Like they sell the little stands for Beyblades. Like
Hmm.
if you want to display them, like
Yeah,
granted, I know people with 3D printers, so I don't
yeah.
need to buy them. But oh, shout out to my man Burrito. He's giving it to me this Sunday. He made me a solid deck box from his 3D printer for my Beyblade.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
nice. That's nice.
It's very basic. It's just a very basic black one. But this is like the prototypes that he's done.
Mhm.
And eventually I'll get it to where I'll actually get like a different colored one, colored the way I want it. And I think he said he's going to try to start selling them. So
That's pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty. Those 3D printers, like there's something else in what they can do. I should probably get one myself just to play around and mess around. But I
Yeah,
know,
he said what the material costs. Like he said, with the cost of the material, he has to sell it for like $30. But I mean, even like $30 for like a hard, solid plastic deck box that you can actually use, that's not really bad considering you're paying like how much is it for just like the cheap thin plastic ones for the Takara ones?
yeah. How much was burritos? How much?
30. But
Okay.
that's like thick, solid plastic.
Yeah, I think I want to say we had ours up for like $12. I'm not sure, but yeah, it can rip if it gets wet. Those is Takar Tommy's brand. Um,
Yeah.
Thicker ones. I th- I know the thinner ones. They're only the price that they are, just because of the brand. You know, you getting the
Yeah.
brand. You're paying for the brand at that point. But yeah, another another store I wanted to shout out because I've worked with them a lot. Um, they have, I don't know if they have the newer
Re-
Beyblades, but it's
Real
called this.
real
Go ahead.
quickly, the 3-on-3 deck case from Beyblade Premiere is $17.
Oh, it is.
So for it being $17 for the flimsy plastic, I'd
Mhm.
much rather pay the extra $13 and have something that's hard plastic, and if I drop it or if someone stepped on it, might not break. Well, I mean, I think if someone stepped on it, it'd still break. But I mean, like, it's not like if they
More
accidentally like their
durable.
foot started to go onto it,
Yeah.
and they stop it, like it's not going to do anything. But if like they did that with these real thin, cheap plastic ones from Takara Tomy, then yeah, they're going to break.
Yeah. Even more so, like the issue I run into is just packing everything into my car.
Yeah, or dropping them.
Yeah, yeah. So when that happens, and then it's like I haven't had a 3G deck box, but those were my concerns with them. We had the circuit boxes. And over time, just from opening and closing those, it was thicker and those were more resilient. So, but I know that the Takara Tomy ones are a lot more flimsy, so I can imagine that being even heavier.
Yeah.
But yeah, the store I was going to start out, it's called This Toy Life, and I don't know if they have an actual physical location. They're in Connecticut, so if you can go check them out, go check them out. And This Toy Life, I think it's thistoylife.com. So I don't know if they have X, but they do have some Beyblade Burst items, that you could check them out there. He's a pretty solid guy. Um, I think that's all the stores I know of. Do you know of any?
I don't know of any that are like very specific that aren't like the main ones.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. Um, so I want to say that's all I had today. Do you have anything else, Mike?
No, I think we covered a lot. We covered the current issues of, I mean, what pretty much every store is currently handling a little bit, but you just got hit the worst.
Yeah. Oh, this is worth $30. I thought it was more like cardboard. This is like straight up. You hear me?
Hold on, what was that?
I said this is worth $30. I'm sorry. I just
Oh
it
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah. That's sweet, man.
yeah,
Hey, he just sent me a image of his deck box. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Um
nice.
yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I think every store has some issues with it. I just from the be there was like you not getting anything. Except for the stadiums, I guess, which I'll go try to pick up a little bit later today. Um, but yeah, so on that, thank you all for listening. Thank you all so much for the support over these years on the podcast and off the podcast. I don't refer to anyone in the store as customers. I've said that in the past. I Whenever I address this for gaming members, or for gaming community, or just buyers, but it's all support and it's all love, and I appreciate all the emails. Once again, I appreciate all the DMs, all the love that y'all have all given, the patience and the understanding. Um, Continue to enjoy the Bay life. Continue to enjoy the nerd life, anime, TCGs, Beyblade. Um, get out there and spread the word for Beyblade, and just overall, it's a beautiful escape from reality. That we can come together and just enjoy things away from our job, away from the hectic stress of the real world. And on that note, thank you all again so much. Much love to you all, and take care.
See ya.